Obviously, it was great to earn our 11th win last Saturday. Really proud of the way our guys responded, especially in the second half. Really challenged them at halftime, and to come out and score, I think, touchdowns in our first three drives there in the second half was really good. And then also we were better on third down in the second half, which obviously led to the scoring drives, and ran the ball for close to 200 yards there. Also pleased with no sacks. I believe that's the third time in the last 4 games where we've had no sacks. So doing a good job there. And then also no turnovers is something we talk about all the time. It was a very big positive. Going back and watching the video, really the slow start in the first half really just came down to poor execution on third down. We had some opportunities and also had some drops, which kind of stalls your momentum and rhythm and gets you off the field. But really proud of the way the guys responded when having a little bit of adversity there early. Obviously, exciting week, getting ready for South Carolina. An opportunity to accomplish our next team goal, which is something we always focus on, winning the state championship. And for me, I was thinking about it this morning. I believe this is going to be my 25th year being a part of this rivalry, either as a coach's kid, a player, or now a coach. So I've been on the sidelines in some capacity for going on 25 years. So something that I always look forward to, and is one of the best rivalries in college football. Looking at South Carolina, they're athletic on defense. They've had to battle through some injuries. I think the positive part of that for them is they've got a lot of guys that have played. It's a little bit difficult for us putting together a depth chart because they have a lot of guys that have played meaningful snaps. So it gives them a little bit of versatility there, being able to move some guys around to different spots. They have a really good scheme, do a good job on defense, and put their guys in a position to be successsul. And it'll definitely be a good challenge for us, but I know it's one our guys look forward to every year, and so it'll be a great week. Look forward to getting started today.
As a guy that's seen this rivalry from both sides of the aisle, and as you just mentioned, numerous capacities, how would you maybe best kind of sum up the emotions and just the whole deal?
Yeah, it's a very emotional game. Being around this state, you're either a Tiger or a Gamecock, and and both sides are very passionate about their team, which is what makes college football great. And I think that's why college football is one of the best sports out there, because the fans are so passionate. And in this state, the fans are very passionate for their side. And then I think, as a player and as a coach, one thing that, you try to maybe take from it is that, it's going to be an emotional game, but emotions don't win the game. We've been very hyped up before getting ready to go play and don't go out and play well. And really, the team that wins this game most of the time is the one that executes best and has really good, maybe focused intensity, and is able to go out and play well. So that'll be our challenge, is kind of bottling up all the emotion that'll be a part of the game, and being sure that we use that between the whistles and do it the right way.
Jeff, how much did you guys hear about the rivalry when they were on their 5-year run, and do you hear as much now from your guys that you are on this on the winning side?
Yeah, that wasn't that far ago that we were in that position, and it was something that we knew we were going to have to turn. It wasn't something that was just going to happen. And, I think it's kind of timed up, the things that we've done the last 4 years in this program, that's been a part of it. But I think, Coach Sweeney does a great job of letting everybody know how important this game is. The players understand that. They know it. Some of the freshmen that are just coming in, a guy like Justin Ross, he'll find out. And in his state, they have a big rivalry there too. So he's seen that. He just hasn't been a part of this one yet. But I think the fact that it takes up one of our 5 team goals, I think that sends a pretty big message to our guys. And, they're handing out, I think now it's 2 trophies, the old one and the new one, after this game. So there's no doubt that we hear about it, and living in this state, you hear about it all the time. It doesn't matter how good of a season you're having or maybe how difficult a season you're having. This one right here, you can throw your records and all that out the window. This one, last year's success, or the last 4 years' success, really is not going to give us an advantage or any points come Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
So you were a teenager, and your dad's the coach at South Carolina. Can you remember hating these guys?
Hating Clemson?
Yeah.
Well, you're going deep here. My story, and this has been told plenty of times before now because I've been here a few years, but the story that I always remember is the Friday morning that I woke up in Columbia and came outside to go get the paper out of the mailbox, and there was 3 huge tiger paws painted on my driveway, and I went and got my mom and brother. My dad had already gone to work. Guess he didn't see it in the middle of the night, I don't know. But I was like, wow, they're pretty serious about this. And it was, I think, just last year that somebody finally fessed up, came in and admitted to my dad and I they were the ones that painted the tiger paw on our driveway. But no, I could tell that, those years, I could tell the impact of this rivalry. I've seen it from both sides, and both sides are very passionate about their schools and about their football programs like they should be, and it's what makes college football so special.
Jeff, are you confident Renfro will be available Saturday, or too early to tell?
I think it's, I'm looking forward to seeing him this afternoon. I've talked to him on the phone, and I think he's, kind of going through the checklist and everything, but we'll know more. I think it's too early to tell this part in the week, but I know if he's able to go, he'll go, but we'll see how he progresses.
Is that the concussion protocol checklist?
I know he's being looked at and being monitored, and he'll get over here this afternoon. They'll kind of check him out and kind of see, how he progresses through that. But outside of that, that's really all that I can say.
Coach, your defense hasn't allowed a first quarter touchdown all season, hasn't allowed a first half touchdown, I believe 13 of the last 16 games. When things aren't always clicking on offense like the last couple games in the first half, how much of a luxury is that for you as play callers on offense?
Yeah, it's not just when we're maybe off to a slow start, it's all the time. Having one of the ways to have a good offense is to have a good defense, and just for field position and number of possessions and all those things. It really, I've got 2 guys in the wide receiver group that are starting on punt return. Obviously Amari's starting back deep, and then TJ Chase starts front line, and then sometimes Justin Ross and DK are up there on the front line. It seems like as soon as we come off the field, we get over there and we go over, a review of what happened, and then after about 2 plays, we say, all right, 3rd down, punt return, let's go. We get back up and go out there and go get the ball again. That's a luxury. Obviously our players do an excellent job, and Coach Venables and that defensive staff, do as good a job as anybody in the country. And so, we're very fortunate. And what we want to do offensively is be able to complement them. Whenever they get stops, we want to go out and score points and, get a good lead where it kind of puts pressure on that offense and makes them one-dimensional, so we can help them as well. And I think we've done that a large part of the year.
Jeff, you talked about the memory as a kid, as a player here, and then as a coach. Both of those, what are your 2 best memories on both sides of that?
I think my best memory as a player would be my redshirt freshman year, getting an opportunity to go out and hold the game-winning field goal. I saw a little bit of the video of that. Didn't remember all of that as I watched that video. But what I do remember about that was pretty special was where the ball was lined up. I don't remember exactly the yard line right now, but where the ball was lined up, I think South Carolina called a timeout trying to ice the kicker. And I went over and told Aaron Hunt, the kicker, I said, you realize where we are right now, this is exactly the spot that you kick your last three field goals whenever we worked out in the spring and summer, and we'd go over to the stadium and let him go through his routine. You know, we'd have a little routine that we went through, and we always finished right there where we were. And I said, man, that's pretty special. We're getting to kick, you know, from where we've kicked many of these, you know. And so that was pretty neat, I guess, being, you know, 2 years early. I was on the other side, and I was about as close to the action that I got probably in my career, but that was definitely a special moment. I mean, anytime you win on a last-second field goal, that's pretty emotional, but especially in a rivalry game. So that was great. And then, you know, as a coach, you know, I would say probably 2 years ago, you know, just offensively, you know, having a lot of success and thinking about Mike Williams, him going out, you know, in his last year here, and, you know, being from South Carolina, knowing how important that game was to him, and for him to go out and have the success that he had, that's probably, you know, as a receivers coach and working with the offense, that was, you know, a great time, great memory, great night for him and for us.
Will Muschamp's known as a defensive coach. What are some staples of his defenses, and why do you feel like you guys have had so much success against them?
Yeah, you know, respect Coach Muschamp a lot. I mean, I think a lot of what he does, you see Alabama and Georgia, you know, they're going to be aggressive. They're not going to sit back. It's not a bend but don't break defense. I mean, they're going to be aggressive and force the issue. And I mean, you've got to be prepared for a lot of different looks. You know, some of the things that they do on third down are a little bit different and kind of keep you off balance. But you know, and then they always play with great energy, great emotion, and physical players. And you know, why have we had success in the past? You know, because we executed well. And the years where we didn't have success, we went out and turned the ball over and did some things that really kind of hurt ourselves. And so, you know, it's obviously a big game, and just like we do every week, we're going to study our opponent inside and out. But whenever it comes down to getting ready to go out and play on Saturday night, you know, the message to our guys is going to be exactly the same, that it's about our execution, and it's about, you know, how we do what we do. And they're just the next team in our way. And obviously it's a big one because it's a rivalry game and it's another team goal. But, you know, we got to stay focused on the things that we can control, and that's our execution. And, you know, there'll be things from this past week that, you know, I know our guys will want to get out there and improve on.
In a game that so much emotion rides on, how much does it help have a quarterback that just seems like the emotions never lose? This is the first time Trevor has seen this crowd. It's a little bit different, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch him get out there and play. I mean, I think about all the players that have come through here. You know, you remember how they played in these rivalry games, and so it'd be fun watching Trevor out there, you know, as a freshman getting his first opportunity. I know he's looking forward to it. He's heard a lot about it, but, you know, I expect him to go out and play very well just like he has all year.
The trend of slow starts, is that concerning or not so much because y'all end up scoring a lot anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at a point now offensively where if we don't score, we're mad. And, I mean, I think that's a good thing. You know, somebody was talking about Travis being frustrated on the sidelines. Well, we didn't score, you know, and I think that's where we are right now offensively, and with the success that we've had this year, that our expectation when we go out there is to drive the ball 80 yards and score a touchdown. And if we don't, then, you know, we're disappointed. And I think that's a good thing because that's, you know, our standard is very high. You know, I think for us more than anything, I mean, we obviously would love with the defense that we have to go out and get points on the board and really take control. And I think we're at our best when we do that. But I think also, you know, we've proven to ourselves that if things don't go exactly how we want them to early on, that we have the ability to respond and go take care of business. And that was just kind of a, you know, another example of that Saturday night. But if we had our preference, you know, we want to go out just like we scored the first 3 drives of the second half. I mean, that's what we'd like to do in the first half. And I think more than anything, we go watch it with our guys. It's, you know, it's the execution on a few of those plays and there's different guys involved in each of those, and so it gives our guys something to go back and focus on and work on and hopefully improve on.
South Carolina became bowl eligible on Saturday. Will Muschamp after the game though said we haven't, reached our expectations at all or met our goals for this year, which is to play in Atlanta. Facing a team that essentially has nothing to lose, what are the challenges that you face as a head coach, and how do you safeguard against a team that essentially is going to throw everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think where we are as a program right now, that for most of the games we go into, we feel like the other team, they feel like they have nothing to lose and that they can just do a lot of different things. And so I think we're kind of used to that as it goes. But, I don't think that, I think every year that we play these guys, that's what you can take the records and throw them out the window. Every year that we play them, it doesn't matter, what either team's records are. We're going to get their best that they have, and hopefully they're going to get the best that we have. And that's what makes these rivalry games so much fun, is because both teams play with a lot of passion. But I have no doubt whatsoever that Coach Muschamp and their staff will have their guys ready, and it's our job to have our guys ready and see who goes out and executes the best Saturday night.
Everybody remembers the brawl from 2004. Do you talk to your guys at all about keeping their composure if things get chippy out there, or is there enough leadership and maturity on the team?
Yeah, I got a couple freshmen that I have to remind from time to time that maybe can get emotional, but really that's not anything. I think that where we are as a program and as a culture, that has not been an issue for us in the recent past. But it is something that we remind our guys. Anytime you're in a rivalry game where you have two passionate teams that are playing, there's going to be a little bit of pushing and shoving at the end of the play. And so it's good to remind our guys, to walk away like we've done pretty much all year long, and to really channel that energy and passion and emotion to the play between the whistles.
Did you sense back in August that Justin Ross would be able to make this kind of impact and earn this kind of playing time, or has he maybe exceeded things just a little bit?
Yeah, I was very excited about him coming in. I knew he was a talented player. It was a little different because we didn't have him in our football camp like we normally do with the wide receivers, where I kind of would know exactly where he was. So you're just kind of going off what you saw and what you see on video and what you saw the couple times that you get to see him play. But I think in August camp, some of the catches that he was making versus our, defensive backs, I said, okay, I can see he's off to a good start. I would say what I'm most proud about him right now at this part in the year, this is usually when the season starts to get long for them, because usually their high school seasons have, maybe come to an end, and that game 10, game 11 as freshmen that are playing a lot and have a lot on them, you can kind of see them slow down a little bit. And I think for Justin, he's continued to work and he's getting better and better each week. And so I think his preparation, his mindset has allowed him to do that. But, I was interested to see how he would do when he got out there. I think it's pretty special. His very first play the other night, really wanted to let the first group go and kind of try to get in a rhythm because we weren't quite in a rhythm early on. And T caught 2 balls in a row, needed a breather. So, just brought Justin off. He sees the play call, and bam, he's ready to go execute. 41-yard big catch down to the 2-yard line. And, so I was really pleased, coming off a cold bench that he was able to go out there. And that's really, anytime we've called on him this year, he's responded, and that'll continue to happen, in my opinion.
Is it his physical toughness that kind of separates him from most freshmen, the way he came in already physically ready?
Yeah, I think his body, and then also he's been prepared very well. Jamie DeBose, his high school coach down at Central in Phoenix City, and his staff, they're like a college coaching staff. So the drills that he's been through, the concepts that he ran in high school are very similar to some things we're doing here. But I would say both mental and physical toughness has allowed him to to be able to go out there and compete, and then also just his skill set. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, attacks the ball and catches the ball out of instinct rather than maybe fighting the ball like maybe some young receivers have done.
Going back to 2013, do you remember seeing the pictures of the Gamecock guys putting up 5 and doing all that stuff? And did you feel a sense of frustration, a sense of urgency? What was your thought?
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that we all saw that. There's no doubt that there was a sense of urgency. And I think the biggest thing as a coach was just trying to find ways to help your guys go out and play well in that game. And I felt like during that stretch that, you know, I think we had a lot of turnovers, and I felt like sometimes we were a little bit too amped up and really didn't play our game, didn't have our energy and emotions channeled in the right direction. So I think during that time, you know, as coaches, we wanted to get it turned around, and you know, it's definitely a lot better to be on this side of it, but it wasn't that long ago. We still have work to do in this rivalry, and we want to continue to accomplish that goal every year.
What'd you think of some of those Gamecock fans who take a photo with Coach Sweeney and put the 5 bomb down or something? Did you think it was kind of goofy? Did you think it got on Coach Sweeney's nerves a little bit? Or?
I think it's college football in a state where it matters, and I think that's awesome. I talked to a lot of my buddies that coach other places across the country, and it doesn't matter as much. And I think, you know, as a college coach, to be in a state where college football is so important. I mean, obviously, you don't like seeing those things, but at the end of the day, you like being able to coach at a place where football matters and you have passionate fans on both sides that bring a lot of energy. I mean, you know, one other thing I just want to say is how awesome it is to play in Death Valley. I mean, how many times do you turn on the TV right now and see major college programs that are having trouble filling their stadiums? And, you know, I think that's something that as coaches and players that, you know, our players don't take that for granted. And we point that out when we're watching video and we go and, you know, we're breaking down video and watching the opponent. You know, we see big shots and you see empty stands. And so, you know, I know Coach Sweeney does it all the time, but, you know, I just want to thank our fans for showing up, you know, fans, students, everybody. I mean, it's so awesome to walk out there. You know, this past Saturday night was incredible. And to have recruits that have been all over the country, been to all the big programs, and for them to say after the game that that was the best environment they've ever been a part of, you know, I think it's awesome as a coach to be able to go out and coach and play in the atmosphere. We're definitely spoiled at Clemson, and our fans are awesome.
What would it mean for this program to get that 5th straight win after?
It would mean that we're continuing to build on the momentum that we've had. And, you know, I think for us, you know, Coach Sweeney does a good job of just trying to put enough in front of our guys for them to go out and focus on that. And I think the success that we've had, it hasn't been just in this game. You know, it's been in a lot of our other goals that we've accomplished the last 4 years. But, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we've been on the other side of that, and we want to continue to add on wins each and every year. But it's also a reminder to ourselves that what we've done in the past isn't going to have much bearing whenever they kick that ball off Saturday night. It's going to be about which team plays best in those 4 quarters. But there's no doubt that we want to continue to add to that.
I know the players have to have.
Oh, go ahead, Boynton.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, he's at South Carolina now, but Brian Edwards, were you involved at all in recruiting him, and what did Clemson like about him?
Yeah, we did recruit Brian. Number one, he was, what I remember about him, he was a first-class young man, high character, came from a great family, and I remember him being a very good player, very athletic, and he's done a good job for South Carolina.
I know the players have to have a singular mindset, but just for you individually, does it seem a little strange to go into this rivalry game being such a huge, I guess you guys are a 27-point favorite? I mean, even when they had their five run with the great players they had, it was never really that wide of a disparity.
Yeah, I think as a coach, we have a very guarded mindset because you've just done it long enough to know. I mean, I don't know what the point spread was on Syracuse. Some of y'all may know, but it doesn't take many of those experiences where as a coach you don't worry about what the point spread is and what people may perceive that happens. When you're in the I got a lot of buddies. I've been around Clemson for a long time. Went to school here. I got a lot of buddies that are Clemson fans, and they'll text you every week, and they think we're going to win 50-0. And I'm over here trying to figure out how we're going to score the first touchdown. And that's literally where my mind is. I'm like, you guys have no idea. Y'all don't want to hear my opinion right now, because I'm a little bit nerved up right here thinking about all these different things when you're in the middle of it. So, as a coach, we don't get caught up. I mean, honestly, obviously, we'll see it. We'll see what the point spread is, but we really just laugh about it a little bit and move on because, we know they've recruited very well over there. They've got talented players, and they've had some really good wins this year on the road at places that are traditionally hard to win, and so we don't take any of that for granted, and I think our guys understand that, and that's one reason that we've been able to be a consistent program is because Coach Sweeney does a good job of keeping our players and staff of one mindset that it's not about any of that outside stuff. It's really about how we play and how we perform and to kind of block out some of that outside noise. So it's not really anything we're concerned with too much. All right, great.